What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? This is your boy, Casacello. Come on in. Come on in. It's going to be a great show tonight. I'm super excited about it. I have my guest backstage. So we're going to talk about tonight how to build credit. I've been asked that question so many times since this pandemic, and it's went into overload. So welcome to everybody that's joining us on Facebook and YouTube. Welcome, welcome. If you've never ever seen this type of platform before, this is actually a live credit show. Welcome, Sheila Dobbins. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sheila. That's on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me. And this is a live credit platform, a live credit show. This is all about credit and finances, personal credit as well as business credit. There go my boy, Mr. Banks. What's up? What's up, Tyrone Banks? What's going on, my friend? Thank you for joining me. And so shout out to everybody that's coming in, and I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to just log on to the show. It's going to be really informative. It's going to be fun, and you all get your questions together. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So if you have some questions concerning credit, where do you need to start? You know, you want to try to do it. Miss Powell, what's going on? Welcome. So if you not, let me see what this name. I think in the bush, Ram in the bush. What's up? What's up? How you doing? You're going to make it. Shasta. You're going to make it. Wonderful. So it's going to be amazing. So we're going to actually talk about my special guest, Mr. Eric, the real estate tycoon himself, Mr. Eric. If you are, let me say this before I go any further. If you're in Atlanta, Georgia, if you need somebody that is the paperwork man, that's what he likes to say, the paperwork man, as far as real estate, you're trying to buy a condo, home, if you're trying to refinance, or if this is your second time buying a house, first time home, this young man, you need Eric. If you'll put your number up there too, or your information, and I'll post that as well. But this young man, I can vouch for him. He's on the money. If you're in that Atlanta, Georgia area, he will get it done. And I promise you, he'll get in contact with you, whether he can do it or not, or whether or not you difficult, crazy, whatever the case may be. This is the young man that's very, very, he can get it done when it comes down to home buying. All right. Thank you, David. Thank you. Y'all coming on in. Thank you so much for joining me. What's going on, man? Gary, thank you for joining me. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mitchell. I'm so super excited about everything. Let me put Eric's number up there because you need to get in contact with him. This is the time. Take advantage of all of these interest rates. If it's low, or whatever you need, I promise you, give him a call. Now, listen, he knows me. I know him. And one thing he'll tell you, don't you call Eric if you're not up on the money. If you're ready, you got that credit together, or you getting it together. If you still need to get that credit together, this is what the show is about tonight. We're going to get you together so I can send you directly to Mr. Eric, and he will get it done. That number for him is 404-732-2195. That number again is 404-732-2195. I don't care if you're in Lawrenceville, Duluth, if you're in Swanee, if you're in McDonough, Georgia, if you're over there in Cascade, Old National Boulevard, over there with Creflo. All right. Eric can get it done. I promise you, he's no nonsense, man. He's very professional, very nice, loving young man. I'm telling you, he's all about his business. He's a classy young man. I mean, I can vouch for Eric. I'm going to tell you, Eric is on the money. All right. What's going on, Mr. Jeremy Gunn? Come on in the room. What's going on? It's going to be a super show. You need to pay attention to the show. I don't care if you're seeing this in the morning. Good morning. Or if you're seeing it live, you want to take advantage of this show on tonight. Eric, you crazy. So you want to take advantage of this show on tonight. Let me keep Eric information up there too. Because this is going to teach you how to build credit. Most people, well, I can do it myself. Some of you might be able to do it yourself. If that's fine, I don't have no problem with that. You know, I don't just only do fixing credit or removing different negative items off your credit. I help you build. That's what I'm going to talk about tonight. Build credit, because nobody wants a blank credit profile. All right. You don't want a blank credit profile. You have to have a mixture of different accounts that are positive, they're open and active on your credit report. You don't want to have that credit report, as an underwriter would say to any lender, whether it's the credit union or the bank. Most of those lenders are going to look to see if you have a very lucrative credit profile or a very thin, you hear that in the finance industry, a very thin credit profile. So you want everything to match what that 3-digit score is. And we're going to talk about that with my special guest that's backstage right now. So I'm super excited. I want to, because, I talk all the time. So I'm super excited about my guest. This young man is a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. He's a family man. He's very, very personable. And, he interacts with the public. That's how we met. And I'm telling you, he's really, really good. He's very passionate about real estate. He's very passionate about having good credit. And I wanted to bring him on to give another perspective on what I want to lay on the foundation. The foundation has already been made. We've been doing the show for a good while now. All of this, stay in New York, all of this is free information. So I'm going to bring him in. His name is Mark Taylor. Mark Taylor, all right, with a capital T. This young man is on the money. I love the way he talks. I love the way he speaks with passion about credit. And this is the way it's going to be. Renee, shalom, 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 shalom. What's going on, Clark? That's my sister. She's going to be one of my guests as well, too. This is a businesswoman if I've ever seen one. What's going on? Shalom, shalom, shalom to everybody. Love it. I love it. So without further ado, I want to bring him in, Mr. Mark Taylor. We're going to be piggybacking and talking. And if you have any questions tonight, please don't be afraid to type them in. And so we can answer those questions and we can get, involved, because I really want you to get it tonight, because there's much more than buying some trade lines and getting your score to 700, because that's when you're going to be very disappointed, just because you see your score 700, but your debt ratio is out of the wazoo. All right. And then that might be the hiccup why you cannot buy the house. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my guest in. Yay! Mr. Mark Taylor, the businessman himself.
How you doing? How you doing?
What's going on? How you going?
I'm going pretty good. Good to be here.
Wonderful. Well, I'm glad to have you. I was pushing for you to come on and be with me on the show. So I really appreciate you taking out time. I know you could be doing a whole lot of other stuff, but hanging out with little old me, I appreciate it.
All right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We can't, as my grandmother would say, you can't tell it all, but just tell a little bit about yourself and what you like to do, and so they can hear from your words.
My words is, I always loved real estate. Always loved it. I always had a passion with it from a child, but I never got into it. It was always a problem. Well, it was always a problem with the credit, you know. So, but I got to a point in my life that, I wanted to make a step and start going towards my goal. Right. So I had to start with the credit.
Right.
So basically, I'm a working man, so I work my butt off. Right. A lot of people think that, they hear these stories that you can get into real estate with no money. And you're going to need some money to get in real estate. You're going to at least need the down payment.
So you're going to have some money up front in order
you're going to have to have it. Bottom line, you're going to have it. There's no way around it. Or you can use credit. Mm-hmm. Well, you got to use credit and money.
Absolutely.
Down payment. You got to have when you invest in it comes to 20%, 25% down, with your credit. You got to have credit too. So, basically that's my passion. I like to work out, things like that, but my passion is real estate. And basically, had people and doing a lot of research and helping me out, and I got into it, legalized business, entrepreneur, building business credit, doing the whole 9 yards. So, basically that's my story.
Well, let me tell you this. I like what you're talking about, because at the end of the day, and we talked you know, in backstage, and we was talking about even earlier today about those steps, the proper steps. What's going on, Mr. Putman, Ed? I'm gonna say Ed. I don't want to mess up that last name. But what's going on, my friend? But the steps that you need to take when you're trying, let's just say, because you know, people have all kinds of good ideas. They'll wake up one morning, you're energetic, whether you went to a seminar, whether you went to your class reunion and you said, I got to get motivated, or whether your mama's tired of you living in her house, or whether your best friend don't pay their half of the rent, or whether you went through a bad marriage or a bad, you know, your boo, male or female, whatever the case may be. You know, what about those steps? What do you do when you're trying to build credit? What sets you, because you have it going on? You're a dad, you're a husband, you work out, you fit, and I almost call this show Fit Credit. So at the end of the day, what did you do, like those steps, you know, in order to get beyond where you was at?
Well, my first step is I thought I can do it myself. You know, you hear a whole lot of stories that you get these dispute letters and things like that, but people don't realize it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Say that again for me, please, because I need some of these knuckleheads out there that feel like, oh, that's just a regular, or you know, regular little credit repair company. Yeah. A lot of people that talk to me, they'll hear me say credit restoration, and I want you all to really get it on the show because we're live. We got a lot of people from Facebook and YouTube in right now, so they think it's easy, but you're saying that it is a lot of work. Point blank.
Right. It is. It's a lot of work. And so I tried it. I tried doing the letters and things like that, but I didn't really have the insights on it. So it was hard. So I had to reach out for help.
Right. Absolutely.
Everybody's gonna need it. I mean, you can do it, but it's gonna take a lot of time, a whole lot of time. I mean, it's crucial. So excuse me for that. Yeah, but it's hard. It's real hard. So I reached out. And got help. Right. And that was my first step. So I had to take the first steps to my goal, to my dream, what I was trying to push and try to accomplish. And with that help, it took a little while. But I got there and been moving forward ever since. Absolutely. And I just appreciate everything and working hard. You got to work hard. Oh my God, you got to work hard, and you got to stay committed. And once you get there, you have to sustain it.
Right.
Keep it. It don't mean as soon as you get good credit, and it's like a job. You have to keep working at it. And it's like a lifelong goal because you want to get better. Because once you start pushing into the business world, it's like you have to start all over again. Mm-hmm. You have to build your business credit just like you build your personal credit.
Absolutely.
And you have to step by step, like baby steps until you can start running. Right. So I mean, it's crucial, and I believe in credit. I mean, credit is king. I mean, I see it with my own eyes.
Absolutely. I see it all now.
I try to talk to people about it because they just really don't understand. You know, when you got bad credit, it's just like they take advantage of you. Yeah. They're gonna hit you with the interest rates and all this, and you know. But once you start managing and start controlling your credit, you start living a better life and doing things. Start being more responsible. Correct. Because once you get it, you're gonna feel so good that you got it, and you can get anything you want. Because they're gonna give it to you. What you want. They're gonna give it to you. Right. But that was my first step into, you know, getting a house and jumping into real estate.
Right. So let me ask you this. So the first thing that you did was when you said some people do it on their own. I've been in the business, the end of this year will be 28 years. So the first step, you know, would you suggest to anybody with my company is called Exceptional Credit Repair LLC. They have Lexington Law, and they have some other companies that are good, some other companies that are bad. So would you recommend to anybody that, or say to anybody, if you will, and it's almost like counseling, because a lot of Black folks don't believe believe in counseling, which they absolutely need. And
Right,
even the Bible
right.
said, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. You don't want bad counseling or crazy counseling. So I don't
Right.
think there's anything wrong with counseling, but would you recommend people to, if they cannot do it on their own, or if they just need some help, would you recommend them to go to a place that is bona fide, certified, you know,
Right.
bonded and legitimate, you know,
Right.
recommend that?
Right. I would definitely recommend it. I would definitely recommend it. And you can't, and one thing about it, you can't trust everybody.
Yeah, I know that's right.
Because
Absolutely.
when I first started, I had a bad experience. They just take your money, just take your money, drag you along. So you just have to get someone. I don't care who it is, get
That's
someone that's gonna really help you to get to where you need to be. And it's like, and like I was saying before, it's still a process after you get the credit, get the things off you need, the negativity, and it's steady. You have to build. I know I was brought up thinking that, you know, credit cards are bad. That's like, I didn't want no credit cards.
Absolutely.
I never wanted a credit card.
Right.
And I had bad experience. When I did get a credit card, my first thing, well, you know, I got a credit card, and then I was so-called trying to oppress a woman.
Right.
Buying things on the credit card, buying her things and stuff like that, and messing up my credit.
Right.
You know, and a lot of other things. So
they'll mess you up sometime.
it messed me up. So I just said, well, I never want a credit card again. But then I had an experience after that, you know, that I had a breakup, a divorce. Then she was using my credit card, and, you know, me not knowing, but that's the past.
Absolutely.
But,
Absolutely.
you know, destroyed my credit. So it took a lot of work. And like I say, I recommend to get some help, because it's hard for anyone. You know, it's going to take a lot of time. And oh man, I don't see how people can do it. You know,
let me say this too. Let me say this also to add to what you're saying, and then I have a couple of more questions too. I wrote a bunch of stuff down people was asking me to ask today on the show. And one thing, the first thing you need to do, especially my company, you all that know that I've been in the industry, and as this comment, Mr. Robert just said, you have to get someone that have shown you proven results. And you see that, once you see people and you can trust their integrity. Now, I don't need to eat the whole cow to know I can eat beef, because I'm not a doubting Thomas Caesar. Because some of you all are just, you have unrealistic expectation. You not going to get, you know, $500,000 home, and you only make $20,000, $30,000, or $40,000 a year.
Right.
Now, you know, you want to be realistic, and everything is not going to come off overnight. And so I deal with a lot of people that feel like it's a quick. I'm telling you right now, as a credit expert and a credit analyst, and as Mr. Robert just suggested to many people all over the country, I have proven results. And not only that, my grandmother used to say, as yours probably said, the proof is in the pudding. So when somebody talks the talk and walk the walk, don't put them through all of these hurdles or frustrate them, because what's going to happen is, like Mr. Mark has just said, you're going to miss the very person that's your connection, because you need a connection. I don't care who you are in real estate, business, whether you're doing quick flips or whether you're trying to buy multiple homes, properties. I deal with people, especially Bala comes to mind real quick. He likes to deal with those real estate sales, that apartments, you know, when they connected and stuff. He loves industry in the industry like that. So that's a good thing. But you want to make sure, and I say that all the time, credit is king for me. So the first step is you need to reach out to somebody qualified. Sure, I want you to come to me. Sure, absolutely. I want you to come to me, but get to somebody that you can gel with, that you and that person. I heard a tax accounting CPA young lady. She's excellent. I don't know her, but I heard this story. She said, talk to somebody that's not going to rush you off the phone. Talk to somebody, you know, that has your best interest and your dream at heart. Talk to somebody that's going to bring you that piece of pie. Talk to somebody that you can have that open and honest, be transparent, because a lot of people will not tell the truth. You know, for a fact, a lot of people will say, I didn't get the card from from Chase Bank or Discover, or I didn't run up the Capital One card knowing they did. But yeah, you might be guilty of $1,000, but you sure ain't guilty of that whole $5,000. So we do have wiggle room to be able to dispute it in a way that is still legal and get it off your credit report, but you do have to do the work.
Right, exactly. You most definitely have to do the work. And you said something that was key to my heart is you know, people get their good credit and whatnot, and they go out and try to reach for the gold. You know, yeah, it's a lot of beautiful houses that cost a lot of money.
Yes,
but you have to take the baby steps, and that's what we have problems with. You know, we go get more than what we can afford,
right?
And we can have so much more if we start off small. Don't get attached to your first house. Never get attached to your first house. Start off small and make money off that house, because you're gonna knock down, you're gonna gain so much by having that first house. And then once you sell it, you're gonna make money off of it, and you put that money on to the next house. Then you go get a bigger house.
Absolutely.
It's all baby steps, and it's just steps. And I tell folks all the time, I don't believe in a 30-year mortgage. I hate it. I don't know where you get that from.
Okay, wait, because that's powerful. I wanna let that sink in, and we definitely got to talk about that, because I am in full 1,000,000,000% in agreement, because I'm not having no mortgage for 30 years. I don't even want it for 20. But let me say this before we talk about that. Eric, this is a real estate broker himself. This is the young man, certified, works with a nice company. You know, he's the real estate agent tycoon. He does it all. So it says you cannot solve problems with the same thinking that were created with. And so in other words, in essence, what he's literally just typed and said is you can't, want something new doing the same old method. You can't, there's a little script. I'm a Pentecostal church little fella, but at the end of the day, you can't attach an old garment to a new garment and expect it to work just like the new garment. The new garment is stronger. So the old garment has got some wear on it. And so at the end of the day, you got to get away from those old, outdated, antiquated ideologies. You can't keep thinking, spin, like these jokers did with that $1,200. Then they're ready to go out and spin and congregate. It's crazy. And then you look around and say, well, Lord, I got 30 years to pay for that mortgage. I don't want to do that. And that's not my, elaborate more on that, because see, that's my kind of talk. I love that kind of talk.
Right. I used to think like that long time ago, till I learned how. I always wondered, when you see white folks, they always moving. They always moving. And it's like they can just jump up and move. When these so-called, when we move into the neighborhood, boom, they jump up and move, because they scared that, we're gonna bring the value down. So they jump up and move. They make their money off of and jump up and move. But what I come to realize, your house, you can set that up for your retirement too.
Absolutely.
You can start off with a small house, your starter house. You make money. Just say you stay in it for a few years. Just say you make 30,000 off of it. Now you move it, live in it. Move into a bigger house, take that 30,000, throw it on to a bigger house, which that's knocking down your mortgage. So it's going to knock down almost close to what you're paying already on your starter house.
Absolutely.
Then move up to your next house, and it's steps. You keep on taking steps. You move up, move up, move up. Don't get attached to the house. You move up. Right. You can get the big house that you want, but it's gonna take steps. Because I used to ride around, I just wondered, like, how do all these folks stay in these houses? How can they afford these houses?
Absolutely.
$800, $900 million house. How can they afford it? You just can't go out and just jump and just go buy one, unless you NFL player or something like that. Yeah, of course you can, but the average person cannot do that.
Right.
And you got a lot of average people that can afford it. And I learned that from this guy that I work with, and he has like a $900,000 house, but he just ain't just go out and buy the house. It took steps. He just climbed up to it. Now, when you get close to your 30 years, now say you done moved on up, now you got $1 million house, which everybody said, well, I don't need no big house like that. No,
Right.
you don't. Then when it come down to when it's time to retire, you can sell that house. How much money you go? Just say you make, if you sell that big house, that $1 million house, which is going to be easy because you're going to have other people trying to move up to that house. And then the people that's looking at that house, they have no problem with credit or money and stuff like that. They can, so it's not going to be hard. Just like if you have just a starter house, something like that, you got people trying to get into it with not good of a credit and problems like that. But when you dealing with people that, you know, looking at houses like that, everything is in line. So well, going back to, you know, when you retire, okay, now you sell that house, say you make $300,000, $400,000 off that house. Now you can take that $400,000, move anywhere you want, buy a house cash, a small house, buy cash, brand new, because the way I think, if you take a mortgage for 30 years, then you retire, now I ain't got no mortgage, but you got maintenance now. You got an old house and it's gonna have a lot of problems. This gonna break, this gonna do. Now you trying to do all this, trying to keep this house up on an old house, and you could have just bought a brand new house and you have warranties and everything else. So that's why that's my thought of going with a bigger house, keep going big, even though you don't need it, you know, just keep going big. Then once you retire, you can sell that house. Then you can go have cash money. You have some left, you can travel, but it ain't like you can go back down to 100,000, 200,000. Put $200,000 in the bank and $200,000 pay cash on a brand new house anywhere you want. Because if you stay in a house for 30 years, the neighborhood might go down. It might not be nowhere you want to retire at in that neighborhood no more. That's right. You never know. So and for 30 years, not worth a crap, you know.
Right. And then you know, this is a different decade, and you know, things change every decade. You know, how it was in 1920 is not how it is in 2020. So you know, things change. And one thing I do know, when he talked about big, you do, because the more equity you have, the more wiggle room you have with negotiation. And I'm gonna tell you all something too, especially, and I'm gonna get back. Mr. Banks asked earlier about how to build business credit, so we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But the other thing is, you know, when you're trying to accomplish a goal, whether the home is 150,000 or whether it's 450,000, if that's where your level at, rock that level. Let me say that you don't have to just be because maybe your sister bought a home for $500,000 and she lived in Baltimore or Maryland and she working at the White House or the Pentagon. That's fine. That's your sister level. Don't try to be like anybody else. What is for you is going to be for you, but you have to dream big. I just have a problem with people. If 150,000 is what I'm shooting for, I'm not going to settle for 84,000. So I'm gonna max it out to the greatest. So if 200,000 is your level, max it out, because you will get the equity out of that, and then you'll get the residuals. Because let me tell y'all something. I'm gonna just put it because we mature people here. Your knees now feel good, but they ain't gonna feel as good when you hit 65 and when you
exactly.
Let me tell you something. If the mornings when you roll over and you talk about, man, forget that job, I don't feel like going to work, but you know, you still, like Mr. Mark is saying, you got to take those steps. A lot of people, now Mr. Mark is a nice one, you know, I'm the whooping one. A lot of people, especially in the African American community, want something for nothing, and you want it easy. When I look at these videos and look at these TV shows or news, look at the news and see people congregating just because, yes, we've been on quarantine, yes, but take that money and invest it. Don't let that money, you know, $1,200, $1,200, you know, that's not like you dealing with $2.3 million. So you have to invest that money and use it in the hard times so you can gravitate to that stability that you're talking about. Because one thing it's one thing to get a house and then 6 months or a year later you lose the house because you you haven't changed that thinking, like Eric was talking about. You got to shift that mentality. And as you said in the beginning of the show, you gonna have to pay. Everything is not gonna be free. Everything ain't gonna come off your credit, and you're not gonna have to pay some things. And my rule is, you know, if those particular little accounts are $100 here, $54 here, anything that's under $1,000, and you can get that letter of deletion that they'll take it off all those reporting agencies and different things of that nature. I call that a letter of deletion. That is what I wrote in my book. You that have my book. So at the end of the day, that will help you tremendously, because you do not want the underwriter to sit at his desk and scrutinize your credit report because he checks off his list, or she, that you need to fix this, that, and the other. You don't even want them to see it when you get ready to buy the house.
Right. Exactly. I want to hit another point on that while we on the house, that a lot of people, you know, and we got to get out the working for 30 years. You know, we have to go out and get our own business and start something we love doing. You know, I mean, it's so important to build wealth, you know, and we can pass it on. And buying a house, you can use as leverage to start a business too.
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
It means so much, because as you paying down and you get equity into the house, you can use that equity to start a business, to make your money, to make you more money. You don't use a lot of people, once you get a house, you want to use the equity, then you want to upgrade it and do this and do that. Now, use the equity to invest in something that you really want to do, to, you know, to have a better life. And it's all about financial freedom, you know. We got to get there. You know, no matter what you want, if it ain't, but that house can get you started.
Correct.
And credit can get you started. Most companies start their business off credit. Credit is so important. Credit is king. I believe in it. I mean, I'm a testimony to it. I mean, you can't tell me no different. If I had someone gave me $1 million or give me $1 million worth of credit, give me the credit. I don't want the $1 million. Give me the credit. I don't want the credit. Credit is worth way more than having them sitting with $1 million. I can do so much with it. And I mean, and I just had the world look at you. They look at you through your credit.
They do.
You know how much money you got sitting in the bank. They're gonna look at your credit.
Absolutely. And that's how it is, because most people, and you know, when I get, let me say this, when I get a lot of phone calls, it's when people have been turned down. It's when people are mad. It's when people say to other companies, man, I paid them, and some of them be lying. And then some of them say, I paid them for 6 months. And then I look at your credit report, you ain't paid nobody in over 2 years. But you see in 2017, 2018, 2019, and some of these jokers, not the good ones. So if you getting mad right now, that's who I'm talking to, the person that's getting mad right now. But if you know this ain't you, you already know that you're trying to do better, because we're trying to build the steps that you're taking to secure that financial freedom, as he just said. That's how you build credit. This is how you build credit, not by going out there buying some red bottoms that you ain't going to, you know, just tell somebody you got red bond. Not watch this here, Mr. Bar. Not going out there buying bond number 9. You Lord, if I hear one more person tell me, oh, I bought me some Creed, that's gonna fade. This old lady said this to me at Neiman Marcus years ago. She held the bottle of cologne, the fragrance up. She said, I can live without this, but I can't live without that. This water. You know, stuff. She was like, I can live. This is a pleasure. When she held up that bottle of fragrance, she was saying, this is something that I desire, but I can live without that, you know. So you want to get something, house, you know, that house is your bargaining tool. You can't go to the bank and say, hey, give me $500 and you have not made a deposit. You can't do it.
I got something on that. That should give you people motivation to do more and to have more. Right. Is the stuff that you want, because even though I have a good paying job, I wanted more. That's like, it's good enough. I can live, but I want more. I want some of those things that, you know, that I can't afford. and won't have no problem. Yeah, one day I want a Lamborghini, I want a Bentley, you know, but that motivates me to move forward and to work hard to get it, you know.
Correct.
So I use that as motivation, and
Right.
I learn to take steps. And some of the things that I don't need, I don't use it unless I use it as a tool. Okay, if I want that, I'm gonna have to do something to account for my income so I can have it. So
Correct.
that's why I moved into real estate, which I love anyway, but
Right.
I moved into that. So if I want something, a big item, a nice car, well, I get a house. I would get this house, and that's gonna pay
Right.
for that car right there.
Right.
So I mean, you have to use other things as tools to
Correct.
where you can move more and you can have more. You can have it. Anybody can have it. It's just
Absolutely.
how bad you want it.
Correct. Correct. And you got to have that discipline. One of the first things in your
Yeah.
first steps to building credit, you have to have discipline. You have to
Thank you.
have stick to itiveness. It's going to be a whole lot of no's, but it's going to be a whole lot of open doors and a whole lot of yes. But you got to have discipline. You got to
Yeah.
have already reconciled within yourself that if
Right.
nobody believes in my dream, I believe in it, and I'm going to execute that dream, because
Yeah.
there's going to be so many frustrating deals and opportunities that
Right.
come your way. Some are going to be good and some are going to be, you know, not good. And then sometimes, you know, even paying your bills on time is just
Right.
not enough when it comes. See, with personal credit, you get a 3-digit score. Okay,
Right.
I want you to know that. Personal credit, you get a 3-digit score. So for all of you all that's taking notes, you get a 3-digit score. With business credit, you get a 2-digit score.
Right.
Anything that's above 80 is excellent. If you get a perfect 90 with Dun & Bradstreet, because I'm going to talk a little bit about Dun & Bradstreet in a minute, but if
Right.
you get anything with Dun & Bradstreet and not them other two jokers, Satan's first cousins, Equifax and Experian, both of them Satan's first cousins, both
Right.
of them now, because they saw how much money Dun & Bradstreet was making all over the years. So now
Right.
Experian has Experian business credit. So now, even if you go, prime example, you can go to Home Depot. Home Depot will check Dun & Bradstreet, but if they can't get all the information that they need, they'll piggyback off Equifax or Experian.
Right.
So it's
Right.
not just one hurdle that you was going through like you did in the 80s, because, you know, back in the 70s and the 80s and stuff, you know, Dun & Bradstreet was the number one. But now you got 3 people to contend with. And so
Yeah.
it's much more, it's not easy, as we said in the beginning of the show.
Right. It's not.
You know,
I want to touch bases on that credit too. When I think I didn't get a chance to tell you, but I was taught, don't get credit cards, tear them up, this like that.
Yeah.
But now my belief is you have to get credit cards. You have to get a bunch of them. Get a bunch of them.
A lot of
a bunch of them. That's gonna tremendously help your credit.
And
it don't mean use them.
Right.
Get them. Get them. Don't use them. But it's about discipline and how you use them.
That's
you
right.
know, you're supposed to use them, but you can.
Wait a minute, Mark. Say that again. So we're saying get as many credit cards as you can. This gonna pick off some of my other shows. Get as many credit cards as you can, but it's how you use them. It's not for you if you do get 10,000 or if you get 20,000. All of you that keep running to Navy Federal and you finally got your credit in a decent place and now they gave you 15,000. That don't mean go get Botox. That don't mean get your tummy tuck. That don't mean get your little tatas. That don't mean go get the booty like K. Michelle. Now see, she don't even want the booty she got. All right.
I'm gonna tell you that you mentioned Navy Federal. I love Navy Federal. I love Navy Federal. Navy Federal is a great place to bank at. They helped me out a whole lot. Even though I was getting credit, but I always wanted to get into Navy Federal. When I really got into Navy Federal, they're gonna give you so much. They're gonna help you in so many ways. They're gonna give you money. They're gonna give you anything you want.
If you're listening at that show, you need to pay Mark and pay me. So we give you some shout outs, Navy Federal.
Navy Federal, I love Navy Federal.
Me too.
I love them. And I mean they're gonna take care of you. Believe that. They're gonna take care of you. But like you said, it's not about, going out doing Botox and all that. No, you have to use it wisely. Use it as a tool. you have to use your credit as a tool to move forward and to get access to things. Business wise, being an entrepreneur, doing things, start your hair salon, start a barbershop, you open up a barbershop. I mean, do something. You use your credit as a tool. That's why I say get so much of it, because then once you put it together, it's going to add up to a lot. And then you use that credit to get something started. But
let me see this before I forget too, and I'm gonna let you finish that thought. Trevor says, around what price range should a starter house be? My opinion, I'm gonna let Mark piggyback off this too and let him finish his statement. If it's a starter house, it's dependent on your income, the steady income that you have. So if you have a steady income, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's possible to have 30,000 on your job, but you have 150 or 200,000 in credit. So you still wealthy. You got 150 in credit. And then you got 30,000 that you make on your job. So you really $180,000 person. You understand what I mean? And I'll teach you more about that. But for me, it's depending on the income. So and Trevor is a wonderful person. So if you are, let's just say, if you're working a 9 to 5, as Dolly Parton said, working 9 to 5. If you're working 9 to 5, whatever the case may be, it's depending on the income. To me, really quick, if you're in the 40 to 45 to 50,000, they're going to try to keep you around about 150 to 200. If you're 50 to about 60 to 70, they're going to play with you around about 250 to about 330, 340, something like that. And it goes on. So a starter house for me, I would say, is anything that's like 200,000, 150 on up for me. 150, 200, 225. That's good for us. 209, 190, because the name of the game is if the house is 225, I'm going to try to get the sucker for 190 or 180 anyway. So it's what you bring to the table, because I'm not a fan of putting no $30,000 down for no down payment, just padding somebody's pocket. I'm not doing that. I like those deals where they say, well, you ain't got to bring no money to the table for closing costs. You done sketched it in, and I got my refrigerator and my whatever that I want, the house that I want. So what would you say?
Well, I'm gonna hit another point on that. I mean, you correct about that, but once you get that house, that starter house, and what the people have to get out of is, don't go for the, just paying a mortgage payment. Pay over the mortgage payment, because you want to knock the payments down as quickly. You want to build more equity into it, because once you first, if you make an extra payment in that 1 year, it's gonna knock years off your mortgage. I mean, off your years. It's gonna. So once you get enough, well, I say start a house, get enough where you can put extra on a house, because I believe in the velocity banking. You know what I'm saying? Paying, you can really pay off a house 5-7 years, at the most 10 years. You can pay off a house, and a $200,000 house, you can do it. But you're gonna have to have credit too. The credit is so powerful.
It is.
It is so powerful. You can use credit as leverage in so many ways, because I got into it and I learned, because I do a lot of research, because I want to know how people is doing this.
Right.
So I do a lot of research. So I got into the velocity banking. So I got a line of credit, and I put it to a test. I want to pay it off, and you can use that line of credit to accelerate your any bills, your car note. You can pay off a car.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? A couple years. You ain't got it 5 years, 6 years.
Or 7 or 6 years is
you don't have to, but you just have to pay more. Don't just pay the minimum. You have to pay more, and you're gonna be surprised, because you're knocking off the interest. They give you with the interest, And when you pay over, you're not gonna, you paying it off quick.
And let me say this. Paying over means don't just make 2 payments. I'm going to tell you what you have to do. And you can check this out with any of your finance companies. Yes, you're going to make your full car payment, but then you're going to turn around and take that extra or that overage, as Mark just said, and pay it directly on the principal.
Right.
of it on the interest.
Right.
That money. So if you have an extra 200, tell them no. Do the first transaction. Some of them will be slick because this is how they get you. If you make 2 payments at the same time, then you're going to have 2 payments. Some of that is going to the principal. Some of that is going to the interest. So you want to make full payments so they won't consider it late. But then turn around and say, I'm put this next 300 on the direct principal. And I'm telling you, you will see that balance come down just like that. And let me say this. Louise is right here in Texas. I got the real estate people in the house tonight, baby. I got all these brokers and agents. So this young man is live on YouTube with his business as well. I wanted to say that because I'm going to have him on. I'm going to have an all show with all of us fellas again, Mark included. So at the end of the day, he's right here in Texas as well. And I'm telling you for a fact, if you pay extra and you pay it the way you're supposed to do it, don't just keep making payments, and you keep saying, well, my car payment is not going down, because that APR is killing you. That's the problem.
Right. Exactly. I mean, I learned that. I was like that at first. I would just make payment until I learned. Right. It's like we lacking of knowledge. We don't know, once you get that knowledge, it's just like, it's so powerful. And it's just like, why ain't nobody told us this yet? Why ain't nobody educating us about this? And it's just like, oh man. And once I started realizing and started educating and started finding out, it's just, man, it just takes you into another world. It's unbelievable how you can do things. And man, I learned a lot. I mean, and I'm still learning. I want to know everything.
That's why the Lord hooked us up.
Right.
Let me tell you something. What Eric just added, because Trevor, thank God we answered her questions. But let me tell you something that's really great, and I love this about Eric, and I love about what Mark just said. Eric is saying this. He said a starter house is a house. I love this. That is easily rentable and produce cash flow after you move up. All right. Mark ain't met Eric yet, and Eric hadn't met Mark yet. They saying all 3 of us saying the same thing. Do you see about that cash flow? So we ain't saying that we don't believe in cash. Yes, Lord, we believe in currency, drench my money, moolah. We believe in it, but what we're saying is you need something to leverage. Most people don't have. When you sit down to the table, that businessman wants to know, because he's looking at you like you're less than, if he has the wrong mentality. Not saying all do, because I'm not like that as a businessman. But most of them that you come to them, they want you to beg them. They want you to make you feel like you're less than, or you have no wherewithal or the capability of how to barter. That's what that is. You're going to bargain and barter. And so what it is, you can take that house and say, well, I do own this house. And so when you come to the table, and this is for you fellas and for the ladies, that when you get married to somebody, have your own stuff. Have your own stuff. Don't go into it hollering about, oh, well, he the one bought me the diamond. Buy your own diamond. So when that joker meets you, you know, he'll treat you on an elite level, because that's the precedent. Lord, I just said something right there. That's how you set yourself up. People, you know what I like? UPS got something and the post office do it too. And they say handle with care, because there's some packages you just can't throw on the truck. Come on here. So that's how I live my life. You ain't talking to me in the kind of way. You ain't going to just give me any old starter house or give me any old credit card. Give me what my credit qualified me for.
Right. And that's why I think, it's good to start. People don't realize that not with a starter house, because like I say, you can use it as a tool. You use it as a tool. Don't get comfortable with it, because you're going to move up. You want to move up. That's just what I believe. You want to move up to the next house. You can use that house, because I'm into buying whole. I want to keep everything, every house. I want to own them all. I want a portfolio. I just, I want 100 of them.
Wait a minute. You said my word. I heard you just say. Did you say portfolio? Did you just say? Okay, you see how our language is different. Just not, it's fine. Sit at the kitchen table and talk about the shoulda. I don't want to be talking about no shoulda, coulda, wouldas. I'm gonna talk about by this time next year. That's the kind of talk by this time next year, in the next couple of years, because we've already said first step is you want to make sure that that credit is right. So you got to find Exceptional Credit Repair LLC. You got to find, you watch this, you got to find it right there. You got to find Exceptional Credit Repair LLC. You got to make sure that you get that stuff, and it's just a one-time fee. You coming in, getting your credit together, and then you need to do this. All you that's doing it on your own, go to Amazon.com, baby, and get that book. What I did was, Mark, I put 3 dispute letters in there. I was only going to put 1. But I got 3 bona fide dispute letters that I've used for decades. So they're certified, bona fide. It works. Some stuff you can maintain and handle on your own, but you want to make sure that you're that person that's doing everything. You got to help you out. So if you think that me or Lexington Law or President Obama is going to do everything, that's not how it works. I look at, I had a young lady, all she had to do was pay down 2 credit cards. One was Victoria's Secret and the other one was something else. And so she kept going to Victoria's Secrets. And I said, you know what's going to keep being a secret? And she said, what? I said to you, nobody's going to know that you're really doing what you're supposed to do until you let Victoria's Secrets go. It's only $500. How many bras and panties you want?
One more thing about that credit. Once they get a credit card, tell them that how to build it fast. Don't spend over 30%. Don't spend over 30% of that credit card and pay it off. Don't pay it off on the due date. Pay it off before the due date. Absolutely. And it's going to help move that credit on up, because they're going to look at you and be like, oh, he paid, she paid, they pay real good. You know, they look at that. They look at how you pay, not on a due date or this. They look at you when you pay ahead. So that helps your credit too. So, you know, don't spend over 30%. Before. And
I'm gonna challenge that. My rule for my company, Mark, that's good, but I'm gonna tell you what's going to be great. Keep that under 10%, because 30% is still pushing it. I just did a show about that 30%. I don't know who started that rule, but if you come do business with me, if I see that 30%, I'm still beating your head. I'm gonna beat it until I can't beat it. My balances on my credit card are 0 or maybe 5% or 10%. Because think about it. If you're right at 30, you tell these people 29 to 30%, you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna keep pushing it to the edge, pushing it to the edge, pushing it to the edge. You ain't just got to go to Macy's. You ain't just got to order that stuff from Amazon. Some of y'all got the telephone, whatever that stuff you do when you order online shopping. They can't get to the physical store, so they're ordering online. But my suggestion, I'm telling you, as a credit analyst and expert, somebody in this field that deals with credit and finances, if you keep that, you got my show enough respect. Under 10%, because what that says to American Express, you know what? He just spent $10,000 and have paid that $10,000 off. He needs some more line of credit. That becomes, and Sheila can tell you this, that becomes a low risk. That's the terminology in credit. You want to be a low risk. If you're a high risk, they're not giving you any money like that. You have to be a low risk. Low risk people get the best interest rate. Low risk people get the best service, and they get talked to with dignity and respect.
I'm gonna tell you how I use my credit. I use it like my debit card.
There you go.
Because everybody use their debit card every day. You know, they don't use cash no more. They use their debit card. So I use my credit card, just like what cash I want to spend. Be like, instead of using my debit card, I just use my credit card, and then just go pay in a day or two. I just go pay it right back off.
There you go.
And I'm building up points. I'm into I believe in reward points.
Cash back,
because you're gonna spend anyway. You want to use your credit card, but you want to use it like a debit card. You want to pay. You don't want to just spend what you don't get. That's just like if you got a debit card, you ain't got no credit card. You only gonna spend what you get.
Well, let me ask you this, Mr. Businessman. How much interest rate? Watch this. Think about what I'm getting ready to say, because I got the answer. That's a good teacher that know the answer before the question. So if you keep a whole bunch of money in your checking account versus savings, I'm giving you a clue. Savings, I get interest rate on. I get some interest. I don't care if it's 1 penny. I don't care if it's $2. I'm still getting back with my money sitting there. So if I keep a lot of money in my checking account, is that good?
Nah, that's not good.
No,
it's not good.
This is how they're going to get you, because with checking accounts, they're not giving you anything back. Matter of fact, you paying them every time you swipe your card at another bank that ain't SunTrust, at another bank that ain't your main bank. Right. And so you keep it in your savings account. That account is designed to give you money just for putting it there.
Right.
That's what a mutual money marketing account is about. Right. That's designed to pay Casacello. Now come on, homeboys, I'm with all of that stuff that's going to take my money and show me a profit on my money. Oh, I'm with that.
Right. But I have another little strategy with that. I mean, I use my credit like my cash. It's not because I'm using my credits as leverage any way I can.
There you go.
And that's use your credit. So I use my credit. The money I receive from my job, I'm paying credit because I'm Velocity banking. I'm paying off things quick. So I really don't need the bank. Right. I don't need to let it sit in the bank because all my money is going towards, when people learn about the Velocity banking, they're going to put all their money into their credit because you still have the money. Right. Once, you pay something off. That's just like if you go pay your car note, you just pay your car note with your cash. Boom, that money that is gone.
It's gone.
But if you pay your credit card, you use your credit card to pay that, then you put that money in your credit card, the money is still there. If you still need a little bit more money, boom, you can use your credit card and you go do something else. But if you start just using your cash, your credit is so powerful and you can use it in so many ways. It's crazy. You got to have it. I mean, credit is, oh my God, you got to have it. It's so powerful. Forget the money. Like I say, the money ain't nothing. You don't need the money in the bank. You need the credit. You need the credit.
Oh, man.
It's powerful. It's powerful.
You got me about to run, and I know Eric is having a fit because this is how we talk. Because I'm gonna tell you, most people feel like they're on punishment, or they feel like it's a bad thing, like you said earlier in the show. That most people talk, because see, most folks say that to me because they don't understand the process. Right. And they, I ain't got a whole bunch of credit cards. Oh no, I ain't.
Right.
And I'll be thinking, oh, you messed up. You don't understand. And because you need as much credit as you can get, because if I pay my credit card, not only because everybody know I'm a fan of American Express, I'm a fan of Discover. If I use any one of those cards, not only is that money back on my card, but then they gave me cash back points, 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 points.
That's it.
Come on with it. Come on here.
Making money. You making money. I mean, it's more than what it's going to be sitting in the bank.
There it is.
It's more than what is going to be sitting in the bank.
There it is. Doing nothing. Absolutely. Don't stop making these banks rich, and they won't even. It's like I like old Chris Rock when he said in that movie, how in the world, how in the blinkety blink, you gonna clean a hotel and can't even afford to stay in the hotel. Right. So at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of making these banks rich. I am a fan. Me and Mark is a fan of Navy Federal. I've been with Navy Federal almost 31 years now. So I got 2 major credit cards with them, one American Express and one of the regular ones, and it's the same high limit. So, and I'm gonna get a third one. So if you ever, let me tell you, because me and my company, we do all the research. If you ever go to Navy Federal, you only can get 3 credit cards with them. That's their limit. Now, American Express, you can get as many as you want, but with Navy Federal, this is a free nugget for y'all. And anytime you are initially applying for credit, your first time applying, they are gonna check TransUnion. So even if your Equifax score is not up to par, even if your experience still need a little work, if that TransUnion is working for you at that moment in time, you still will be able to get that credit card. Because some companies, I tend to do business with companies that only check 1 or maybe 2. I ain't with all 3 at the same time. You got to get that credit so the credit cards and the credit industry will work for you. That's step number 2 and 3, how to build wealth. You want to make sure that you hook up with a good company. You got to have discipline. You got to make up in your mind that, hey, I'm going to do it a brand new way. Wash out that old way of thinking and start step by step and accumulating everything.
Right. You said it right. You got to start. Please start. please start, because we all want financial freedom. We all want these things. I mean, because we wouldn't spend so much money trying to trying to get it, and when we are back, overspending when we don't have it. But I mean, so just oh man, I can go on and on. I can go on and on.
I'm gonna take.
I strive for more. I strive, and I just want to leave something back. I look back and look at my grandparents and stuff like that. They retired and stuff like that, and it's like, yeah, they got their retirement, but it's like, economy steady going up, and they having a hard time. And they stuck. You retire and you live good. No, you don't. People that retire, they don't be living so good. I don't want to be like that. I want to have more. I don't want to have my kids that have to do things for me. I want to be able to do things for myself. Right. Even if I got to go to a home, I want to be able to pay for it, go to where I want to go to, or I want to be able to. I shouldn't have to rely on my kids after I retire.
Right.
And it's kind of sad that we see a lot of that because lack of education.
There you go. There you go. And you don't want to be a burden on your parents. Your parents have finally got you out of the house. It took forever to get you out. Now, some of us it didn't, because I left when I was 16. But at the end of the day, because I've always been independent entrepreneur. My mom used to say that, God rest her soul in heaven. She used to say that all the time. I couldn't do much because you were doing everything. So at the end of, now my baby brother was totally opposite. So at the end of the day, for me, when you have that independence, I feel like this. I can build anywhere. I can make it anywhere. I can go to a city and not, case in point, and not know anybody. And I promise you, I'm going to still be able to survive. And so you get credit and you got that wisdom and that discipline and a strategy. Business men always have a strategy, and we have an escape route. It's like MacGyver. Did you ever watch that show called MacGyver? The guy, the Caucasian guy, little white guy, he would get trapped and he'd blow the whole thing up with some bubblegum wrapper or something. I don't know. MacGyver always had a contingency plan, and he always had a way to get out of it. And so you have my respect. Yes, you're going to go through some hard times. Yes, you're going to want to throw up your hands. Yes, your baby mama going to put you on child support. Lord, if one more person tell me about the baby mamas, and they some women that's on child support too. Hint, hint, so whoever making the money is who they coming after.
Right.
You got to do what you got to do.
I say, don't let it discourage you. You know what I'm saying? Move forward, Move forward. Keep striving for the best.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough, because I was back there. Like I was at one point. I had lost everything. I mean, everything.
Yes.
But I didn't let it stress me.
Me too.
I done been there before. I done slept in my car before. I've been there, but I just said that. But I'm gonna just keep trying. I'm gonna keep moving forward. I'm not gonna let that bring me down. I'm gonna just keep pushing forward. And that's when I just started that even though we think we can do it by ourselves, you know what I'm saying? We need help. Sometimes we need help on certain things.
We sure do.
Move us forward, and I definitely needed help with my credit to move forward. That was my first step. Being successful is my credit. I'm not successful yet, but I mean, I'm gonna get there. But my first step was, to get my credit where I needed to be.
Well, you're doing big things. I'm proud of you. And I mean, it's obvious, you know what you're talking about. That's why I wanted my viewers to hear your perspective of it. I appreciate what you brought to the table. Of course, just like Mr. Chauncey, congratulations, him and his family. They just got approved for their home. They're one of my clients, Mr. Wynn. Excellent. And another thing that I want to say too, I made a little note before I forget. When you call me, make sure you ready to sign up. Make sure that you ain't got a whole bunch of background noise and you trying to sign up for credit restoration. It is that serious. Mark, they will call you with all kinds of stuff. They got horns, everything going on. When you are ready to commit to something, get in a still quiet place where you can do business.
Right,
If
right.
you like me, I'm a private person. I'm a private. My show is public and I'm a public figure. So I get that. But when I get ready to do business, and as Mark said earlier, I don't just give everybody my social security number. I don't just give everybody my address. But when I get ready to do business, I want men, as that girl said on the Help. She told that girl, I want you square eye on me at all times. So, congratulations to Mr. Wynn. I'm going to bring him on and show his new home and all of that good stuff. And I think, Mark, you've done an excellent job tonight with sharing, your perspective of, credit and building credit and trying to take the first steps, with credit. You got to start, even if you feel like, well, I ain't the first one to get across the finish line. You will get across the finish line. If the bus is coming and you get on that bus stop 10, the person get on that bus stop 10 and you way over there on bus stop 22, the bus is coming your way. So it's crazy for you to get mad. You're going to get on the same bus.
Right. That's one thing. You have to make the sacrifice. You got to do it. And people think it's just easy. It's just overnight. Hey, it's not overnight. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but I mean, it's gonna pay off, and it's gonna feel so good to be able to see yourself moving forward and getting the things and achieving things. It's gonna feel so good. It's just, man, it's gonna be a game changer. But it's gonna be, people got to look at it. It's work. I mean,
it is.
It's work. I mean, as people don't want to go through it, you got to go through it. You got to go through it. I mean, bottom line. You commit to it. Commit to it and do it. You know. And the first step is credit. I mean, just there's no way around it. The first step is credit.
That's how we make it here in the U.S. I'm telling you, that's how, I know our president is crazy. He crazy. That's just point blank. He do what he want to do, say what he want to say. But I don't care how you looked at it. Somebody voted for him. I didn't. I voted for Hillary. I'm not ashamed to tell you that, because I know she was qualified. She sat in that good room with President Obama and doing them strategies. So I voted for her. But guess what? Some people voted for him. So at the end of the day, call him what you want to crave. It's hilarious the way he be fussing out those news reports and all of that stuff, all of that Reddit crazy insensitive stuff, all the stuff that is true about him. He still made it to a place of prominence. Do you understand? Even with all the shenanigans, they got the man on tape saying crazy, vulgar stuff. He's still saying stuff. Tell the people in the news seats that your question is fake and you stupid, and that was a stupid. He still made it to a place of prominence, doing it his way. So you can just imagine, with prayer, with your tenacity to make it, how far God is going to take you and how far you will be able to excel. I just like Mark. I had to sleep in my barbershop for almost 3 years. People didn't even know it. I would get dressed in the bathroom, get up. But you know what? I had to go. I couldn't afford my nice, wonderful townhome and afford that big 2,500 square foot building and pay for my workers didn't even know I was sacrificing, so we could get this building. And I didn't have a stove to go home. I had to eat out or get a hot plate and cook my little stuff on my stuff. But I did that. So you doggone right, my score is in the high 800s. You doggone right, I'm gonna drive what car I want to drive, because I had the wherewithal. I didn't look at just right now. I looked at where I wanted to be in the future.
Right, exactly. And that's what it's all about. It's not now, it's the future, because it's gonna pay off. People, if you put in the work now, you're gonna be so happy in the future. I hate when people say, well, live for the day. You don't know how long you're gonna live. So I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? You got to look towards the future. You have to plan towards the future. Now, if something happened on the way, it just happened on the way. But you have to set yourself for the future. Don't go crazy and I'm living for now. That you don't have nothing. Then when the future comes, you still ain't got nothing. That's crazy.
Absolutely.
I mean, I don't get it. We have to change our way of thinking. We have to. Some of the stuff people be saying, but I like I say, I talk to people when they get to talking like that. It's like, nah, you gotta, you talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? You got to change the way you thinking.
That's right.
Because that's old. That ain't getting you nowhere.
Nowhere. And the same And Louise is saying this. This is another real estate broken agent here. He says, now this, I'm telling you, this is somebody that sells real estate, and we're going to be talking about Home Partners of America, another alternative to people that just not quite sure that they want to, because, you know, buying a house is a big commitment. And Louise is very instrumental with Home Partners of America. We've talked, and he's going to be on the show with me as well, talking about that right here in Texas as well, and surrounding areas and all that. But he says this: have a plan to execute. If you don't, you will be wondering what happened to your money and your credit. You got to have a plan.
That's true.
You got to have a plan. And that's what, and I ditto that, echo that same sentiments, is because if you don't have a plan, you got to write it down. Right. As a businessman, and Mark can elaborate on this, as a businessman, sometimes I wake up honestly in the morning with that same last thought that I was thinking about, because I'm thinking I got to get this done. I got to see about this property, because I'm getting ready to buy a new home myself. So at the end of the day, I'll be thinking about this and trying to execute that and execute that and execute that. So my plan that I have in my mental and that I already have written down, I'm trying to get it off the paper, right, and out of my dreams, because I ain't gonna keep dreaming about something that's in my dreams. I need that to come to fruition, to reality.
Right. I can tell you another way where, you know, I'm kind of good on remembering what it and things I want to do. If people have problems, you know, they have a plan, and then you go to bed, be like, you write it on a sticky note, put it on your mirror. So when you get up in the morning, boom, it's right there smack in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, you're going to see that, be like, oh, I got to get that done.
That's right.
You know, you won't forget about it. You go to bed, you write it down, you put it on a sticky note, or put it somewhere, put it all over the place. Then as you walk around, oh, I got to get that done. It's going to stay on your mind because you got it on a sticky note all over the place. So, you know, boom, you got to get it done. You get that done, then, you know, go move on to your next step. I say it's all steps. You move on to the next step. Write your next plan down, your next goal, you know, to move forward, little steps at a time, because it all takes steps. Like we said before, it's all everything's steps. You got to, you know, take baby steps.
This is how you build credit.
And that's just how you move forward. And eventually you're going to be running. You're going to be running.
Robert Phillips says this: if you want to do extraordinary, that's not average or mediocre. He says this, and this young man is right on it tonight. If you want to do extraordinary things in life, you have to do something extraordinary and different. Lord, invest in yourself and build credit. Be disciplined.
That's it.
That's it. That sum total, that sums everything we've said, because I'm gonna tell you, you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna keep getting the same results. And I'm gonna tell you one thing I love, things Mark said tonight. I'm just go back and rewatch this show myself. Matter of fact, if I was out there listening, I'd be donating to my Cash App right now, because I like the show. I'd be y'all hit a brother up on the Cash App right there on the screen, so this type of show can keep going on. You know, at the end of the day, I'm telling you, for me, discipline is the key, and you got to think outside the box. And don't worry about if it didn't work for your sister. Don't worry about if it didn't work for your buddy, and it didn't work, you know, from whomever. It's gonna work for you. As Jeremy said, he said, write the vision. That's in the good book. That's in the good book. Write the vision and make it plain. All right. Habakkuk, in the book of Habakkuk. So that's what works.
Yeah, it's gonna work. You know, I hate when people tell me that, you know, oh, such and such, that ain't gonna. I mean, people can be so negative and, you know, and discouraged, and you know, it just don't listen to other people. That's just like I was listening. I ain't about no house. I such and such did it down there. You get bad tenants, you know. That's your business. It's a business. You can't tell me, you know, because you don't even have it. You listen to it. It's like, nah. It's like you don't even understand it. A lot of people say, I don't want no house. I don't want the headache and this and that. That's property management. Put it on the property management. You ain't even deal with it.
That's right.
And that's what you want anyway. That's a really good, successful people. They ain't dealing with all the day-to-day problems and stuff like that. They hire people to do it. They hire people to do it. They don't. They running a $1 billion business. You think they sitting up here worrying about this and that? No, they hire people to do it. It's not for you to take control and have all the stress. No, they sit back on the golf course and stuff like that while they pay other people to handle all that. That's being successful. That's being rich. You know what I'm saying? When you can pay other people to deal with your problems, deal with them problems, if there's any problems. So it's like, no. So it's like what you go into, you want to get to the point where you can be able to pay other people, you know what I mean, to handle your day-to-day businesses and things like that.
It comes with the territory. I know we got to go, but I'm gonna tell you, it comes with the territory. If you listen, if you don't want to be successful and you want to stay anonymous and unknown, don't do anything. But if you become successful, you're going to enlarge your territory. You're going to be enlarged in your finances and in your credit. And it's just going to come with the territory. I don't get a chance to complain because I got a lot of calls coming in. As we was talking off camera, my phone kept ringing and I was telling Mark, I said, Lord, I got everybody to hit me up. And so I don't get a chance to complain about that because that's crazy for me to pray for business and to do on an elite level like I do with the success rate that I get. And the people ask me all the time, Mark, how do you get this stuff off the credit? And these folks calling you from California. I got a client in Oregon and North Carolina and Alabama, Dallas, Houston, all these other I don't even know what no Euless is. I just passed that the other day. And Arlington and what is it? Mansfield. I'm learning all these other areas. So at the end of the day, I've studied the law for many years, and I use the legal federal language of the law to be able to get these adverse, which are negative things, off your accounts. But it's much more than just those negative accounts. Those addresses are problematic, that you don't live there anymore or never lived there. The misspelling of your name, a whole lot of stuff that's crazy. So you got to take it upon yourself to do what you got to do.
Right. And once you start, and people, would you take this for granted? Once you start getting credit cards, you're gonna take them hard hits. You got to be able to. You got to be able to get control of them hard hits too.
Yeah, and leverage that, because maybe I used to have a system that I did personally, that I do it sometimes with my clients when I see that because everybody's credit profile is different. I don't care. Even if you're married, you might have some joint accounts because you're on the same contract. But for the most part at the credit bureau, even LexisNexis, you have to have your own credit profile. And also with that, you have to have a strategy, when it comes down, because Chase has rules. Where if you deal with Chase credit cards, any of you that's out there got Chase, the Freedom Card and different things like that, because I have personal credit cards and business credit cards. So you got to know the limitations. You got to know, as old folks will say, when to strike. When the iron is hot, you got to know when to strike. And sometimes people strike at the wrong time, and you just got 3 credit cards, and then you say, well, I got turned down for the 4th because they're going to send you a letter and said, well, you don't have bad credit, but you was declined or not approved because it's excessive inquiries. Not trying to hit somebody right there. Excessive inquiry. You said, but I thought just having a 780 was going to be a guarantee that they would approve me every time. You got to be under the supervision of a credit expert. And so I love that type of information. If y'all want to see Mark back, let me know. Give me some thumbs up. I want to have him back because I enjoy talking with him and all his insight as a businessman, and and dealing with all the endeavors that he has dealt with. It has been one of a kind. So I really appreciate you. What's your final thoughts, with building credit, how to build that credit? What would be your final thought for somebody that's sitting there, their rent is 3 months behind, this COVID, as I say, the karaoke done messed them up. They lose $1,200. That I don't look like another 12 is coming. What would you say to that person that's saying that's easy for him to say? Look at him in that nice white shirt, and he got that nice home and got his bling bling on. What would you say to that person that say, yeah, that stuff sound good, but y'all don't know my story?
Right. Y'all didn't know my story either. Well, a lot of people do. A lot of people did know my story because they seen me. I have, then I didn't have, and I took it when I really was down on my luck because I was in a real bad motorcycle accident, And I mean, I was working, but then when I had that accident, I couldn't work. I was out of work for a whole year, and I was in the hospital for a long time. I was on my deathbed, but in the process, that's when I lost everything. I mean, everything. I didn't have nothing, you know. But you know, I just worked my way. I just it's steps. I was just dedicated to get things back and then never be in that position again, ever again.
I know that's right.
That's when I started learning and changed my train of thought. That is just I'm gonna get into a position that even if something happened, I don't never wanna, you know what I'm saying, be able to not pay for the things that I have. So I want to move forward. So that's when I got to think, and I got to do this, I got to do that. But it's all steps. You have to take the steps, and that's what I did. And I mean, when I said I was yard selling, I was trying to just get a little piece for the selling, and you know what I'm saying. It's just basics what I need. But I was shooting for my goal, and I said, and it made me strong. I just said I would never be in this position again. And from that point, I just kept moving forward. I mean, you just don't, like I say, it didn't happen overnight. It take a little time. Even though we're going through the Corona thing and everything, they understand they're trying to help. And you know, get in contact, whoever you can get in contact. You know what I'm saying? If you can stretch out your bills or put it on the end or whatever until you can get back to work, and then just make a purpose and make a promise to yourself that no matter what, that you'll never be in that position again. You'll always, you know, be ready for anything that's gonna happen. So and you're gonna have to work at it. It's just you don't wait till something happens. You're gonna have to work on it beforehand. And like I say, it's hard on everybody, you know. But if you got that credit, you can live off that credit. You got that credit, you can live off that credit.
You sure can. Let me say this. I got to say this before I go too, because all night I've been saying Mark and it's Mario. It's Mario. Let me say so. I don't know if I got Mark, Luke, and John in my spirit, but let me say this because they're gonna tear my head up and throw all kinds of things. And he's so nice. But for all, especially Mario's fans, his name is Mario Taylor. I've just saying Mark, and even wrote in my. I don't know why I wanted to keep renaming you. But he's so gracious. I'm hollering Mark Taylor.
Taylor. I figured you'll get it. Get it.
Lord have mercy, Lord. Forgive Light Bright. Mario Taylor. He is phenomenal. Mario, thank you so much for putting up with crazy me. But anyway, I've been thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much. This happened the way when I first met you. This is exactly what I saw. Exactly what I saw. It wasn't any less than what I saw from the day one when I met you. So I'm so grateful that you chose to hang out with me. You will be back. You will be back. And hopefully we've shared some information. I know we've helped somebody, you know, with this type of discussion concerning credit.
Right.
And I do want to say really quick, I know we got to go because we're way over, and that's a good thing. But I will tell you this, building business credit is not exactly like building personal credit, but it has a lot of similarities. It has a lot of similarities, and you want to stay focused. I do my business credit starts at $800 because that's a beast within itself. So if you come to my company, Exceptional Credit Repair LLC, most certainly I do business credit as well as personal credit, and that starts again at $800. My personal credit that starts at as low as $300, and you get it in 3 months increments and different things of that nature. But one thing I can tell you, I never had a customer that ever has signed up with my company, personal or business, and did not see phenomenal, exceptional results. That is my goal. I'm the Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron of the industry. I believe in hitting a home run. So, you know, I'm a man of integrity. Anybody knows me around the country, I don't play any games. That's one thing about me. I do have a 30-day program. You know, if you just want to do it for 30 days and you say, how I just want to try, that's $175 for 30 days. And most certainly you can get my book that's live right on the same platform with Michelle Obama and Oprah, and the rest of us is up on Amazon. You can go there and just type in "Teach Me How to Fix My Credit." It'll walk you step by step through the disputing process. It is a beast. It's very aggressive. You can make it. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thank you. Last week, Mario, was my birthday. Last week, I had my birthday show last week.
Belated birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so all of you all that didn't get a chance to give me my good old Cash App, there it is. So thank you so much. To keep these type of public shows going, you know, please donate to the show. We would love to hear from you. I'll give you a shout out on the show. As you can see, we had a lot of interaction tonight. So it is just a wonderful thing just to be able to help people build credit. But Mr. Banks, I know we touched on it a little bit, but building business credit, you first need that EIN number, or what if it's corporation or whether it's sole proprietorship. I'm not a fan of sole proprietorship because that's like a DBA. DBAs are doing business as. So I'm not really, because that's linked to your social. I want to keep my social and my business separate. All right. So I'm a fan of LLCs, the S corporations, I have that as well. So I'll explain all of that. But that's why you need to call me, you know, and then I can better explain it. But business credit, you first need to figure out what type of business and can it make you money? Because I ain't with these people talking about I'm going into business and it don't make you no money.
Right. Yeah. People definitely want that business credit, because that business credit is not going to show up on your personal credit. So it's going to free up a whole lot. I mean, it's going to free up. So especially even if you're trying to buy a house, your debt ratio going to be so low. Be like, you ain't got nothing. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff, but you just can't see it.
There you go. That's the trick with business credit. We're going to leave y'all with that. Business credit, and I do it all the time. Any cell phone I ever will have until Jesus come back to get me will be in my business name. I have never put any more cell phones in my personal name ever since I was 23 or 24. Once I learned that over 20-something years ago, I never will put my social down for my personal social, my social security number down for anything. I always keep all my numbers in my business credit. Now that's a free hint for somebody right now.
And I'm gonna tell you another free hint, and it's a write-off too. Tax write-off too. Put your stuff in your business. Put your stuff in your business name. It's a write-off.
There you go. It's a wrap. Because then your debt ratio goes. Put your car, if you can get your car in your business name, if you can get your house and the properties, because everything is going to not just be based. They keep thinking everything is based on that 3-digit score. But quite frankly, I have plenty of clients that their score is 640, 635, and American Express get them $35,000 out the gate. You know why? Their debt ratio is low. It's way under that 30%, Mario. And not only that, they have a lucrative job. And I know y'all ain't gonna want to hear this, but like I said before, Mario is the nice one. I'm the whipper. And let me tell you something. Some of y'all need a job. Y'all just won't sit up in that house, smoke that marijuana can on. I'm talking to them lazy brothers now. Get you a lucrative job. I've had to work 3 jobs. One time, Mario, I worked for Domino's Pizza, was in there flipping pizzas, didn't even know how to flip them, but I knew I had a goal in mind. I was at Domino's Pizza. I was working for Yvette's Hair Design, cutting hair and doing hair. And plus, I was doing my own stuff in my own barbershop. So at the end of the day, you got to, and then I was doing credit. So you got to do what you got to do to be able to get to the next place in your life. Right.
It is sacrifice. I tell you one thing, that I have a job, you know, I make $32. I make $32 an hour. But at the same time, I had a goal. It's like, okay, I started me a lawn care service. I started cutting grass on the side, because it's all about, I want more. It sounds like a lot, but it really ain't. You know, I want more. You know what I'm saying? It's just, like I say, I learned a lot when I did have that accident. And it's like, I want more. I don't want to be in a predicament that, you know, I just want to, you know, just I'm living good. No, I want to live great. You know what I'm saying? I want to have, you know, everything I can dream of if it's my choice. I ain't got the, you know, whatever I want to be able to go get. And I do extra things. I do extra. I call it a hustle. That's my hustle. You know, I'm a hustler. I've been a hustler since I was young. So that's what I do. If I got to go cut grass and to get me extra, but I use my other things, little small things to do to give me more money so I can move on so I can invest it into something else. That's
Absolutely.
what, like I say, I wanted the houses. So that's just my thing. But
Right.
you can use it as an example that I wanted a house. I know I needed a 25% down payment.
Right.
Because I already had bought a house. And I mean, if people can get a house, the place to live at 3%, everybody should be getting a house. People don't realize 3%. It's not a lot of money. If you $100,000, that's only $3,000.
Let me say something.
$3,000.
You know how that little
$1,000 house. 6,000.
That little fella, the little white boy on Home Alone, he was running through the house hollering, a 3% interest rate, and I've been there, done that. That is something to be proud of. I'm not even gonna cry if you tell me, well, Mr. James, I got a 4.3 or 4.5. I'm not gonna cry about that, but I'm gonna sure be with you when you get ready to refinance, because that's gonna drop.
Right, exactly.
And sometimes it is just as grandma used to say, just get in it, honey, get in it. Yeah. So sometimes that 4.3%, we'll take it to get in it. If it's 5.2, we'll take it to get in it. But you still gonna have to put something on paper. That's how my you have to put something on paper. Now, what is your plan? This is good. We're gonna celebrate. We ain't knocking your hustle, but after a year, let's see, can we get this 5 to change down to some 2s and 3s?
Right, exactly. Because you're using it as a tool. You're gonna use it as a tool. That's the bottom line. You're gonna use it as a tool, But like I say, it all starts back. It's the credit. You got to get the credit. Okay. Because it really ain't people. If really people want to go get the money, they can go get it. They can go get it. But they say ain't nobody say it's gonna be easy. But you just got to want it. You got to want it. You got to want it more than anything. Because, that's how I was just looking at it. Even though I was working, I got to do more work. I got to do this. I got to do that because I want it. It's no time to waste. I want it. Right. I have to do what I have to do because I still have to live because I got a house. But I wanted to get into real estate. But see, once I get started getting into real estate, it wasn't no more 3% down. I have to put. But see, people can use it. They told me I could have just went on and I can go get another house and say I'm gonna live in it, and get it at another 3%. But I'm using it as a business. So I say I want an investment property. Right. So they're gonna charge me. Well, I put 25% down. They said I had to come up with 25%. Right. And it ain't easy, know what I'm saying? Right. Just saving money when you living and you got other bills going on. It's hard, So you make sacrifice, you do things till you get to your goals. You're gonna have to make sacrifice. You're gonna have to do some things. So
let's do this quick math, and we got to go. And I want to hold you as long because I can talk to you all night. Let's just say you got your personal credit on fleek. And so they can't even check your business credit. They can't even pull that particular credit report because you're just buying this house. And watch this. This is the property I saw last month. It's a property in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's a townhome. Very lucrative, nice. It was built in 2007, I believe it was. And so the owner just trying to get rid of it. So he made a typo error and forgot the 1 and just put the 65,000 up there. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy that myself. I'm Lord. And I said, it's got to be something wrong with it. So I called him early that morning. So, all of us was running, trying to get to him. And so he was laughing when he picked up the phone. He was like, yes, hello. He had the accent and stuff. And so I said to him, man, I want to put a cash offer today for that time. Home. It was 2.5. It was 2 bedrooms, but the other bedroom didn't have a door on it, so they just considered it, like a half. It wasn't considered a bedroom, and so at the end of the day, and it was almost 1,400 square feet, which was okay, but it was like I was gonna rent it out. I was gonna buy it, rent it out. Put some other stuff up there and put the Casacello style on it and make me some money, because if he's charging, if you can pay like $1,100 or $1,200, I know I can get me close to $1,600 or maybe $1,700 off that particular rental property. So he said, well, we forgot the 1 on it and it's $165,000. So he was dying laughing. but it was still a good investment. So what would I do? So if I was really, really going to do something, and I didn't have any stuff I could play with on my personal side, I could take $10,000 off this business card, because I got 50, 70,000 on that business card. I'm going to take 10 off this one, 10 off that one, 10 off the other one, instead of taking the whole thing off, because I'd rather have a low percentage rate on each one of my cards than dropping the whole thing down on one card. So if I took 10,000 off for my business card and came up with 40 grand and bam, and then bought the property or do this, that, and the other, I haven't even touched my personal side. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
If you do that in the business world, or if you have 10 grand saved up and I pull 10 grand off my business card, which they're not going to see anyway, then I can kind of maneuver. So there are a lot of ways to get to your destination for your accomplishments. That's what I would say.
Right. Exactly. People don't realize you can take your business, you can max it out and it won't hurt your credit.
Not at all.
On the personal side, it's going to damage your credit.
You're going, yes, and we're going to end it like that, because I'm going to tell you, on your personal side, you can max out those cards, and you would never hear me fuss about balances and debt ratio and 10%, 30%. I don't even care at that point. Just pay it back. That's my major goal, because business credit, when they get ready, especially when you're dealing with Quill and Uline and all of those stuff, and let me tell you, business people stuff, y'all can stop telling these people, well, go get you some more net 30s and net 45. They ain't even hardly want to do that anymore. Everything is PG, personal guarantee. You got to fix that credit. Ain't nowhere around.
Yeah, you got to. That's how they doing things now. They still want to look at your personal. They want to look at your personal.
And that's fine if that's going to help you get it off the ground. See, when I did that 20-something, 30 years ago with Casacello's creation, because I can cut hair like nobody's business. Now, let me tell you what I know. I can cut some hair. I had to use my PG, personal guarantee, on my personal side. But once I got that business off the ground, that was it. I didn't have to do that anymore. So, it's ways around that. But anyway, Mario, not Mark, Mario. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, my friend. I know we went over, but thank you so much. Trevor said, this is what Trevor said. Whoa, I'm learning. So we have helped somebody.
Learn. Please learn. We all need to learn. I'm still learning. Believe me, I don't know everything. I still need help. I want to learn. I want to learn all I can learn. Believe me, I'm willing to learn. So everybody, it don't hurt. It don't hurt for help, Believe me, it really don't. So people, please, build your credit. Let's all. And I feel good. I love to see other people doing good. Especially Black folks. I love to see it. I'm not a hater, nothing like that. I just want to see y'all do good and change your ways of thinking. And let's get it. Let's all, let's get it.
Well, there it is. Thank you so much, Mario. Again, thank you, Sheila Dobbins. You're always with me. That's one of my good old co-sponsors right there. So thank you so much. You can reach me at 786-213-1087. Of course, again, my book is on Amazon.com. If you ever want to get a book that you would enjoy reading, you can get that book on Amazon.com. It'll make an old birthday. I celebrate the whole month. It'll make an old man like me feel good. Y'all buy that good old book. All right. And y'all jokers, stop telling me you bought the book. And when I check, because I get the alert. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a good night, Mario. I appreciate everything, man. You a lifesaver. I just appreciate you. And thank you so much for all that you've done, and more blessings to you and your family, and more money in your pocket. As I used to say, money in my hands and money on paper.
Right. Exactly.
But we'll have you back again, and we're going to talk more about business credit. I want to just do a show strictly on business credit. I just want to talk business credit.
You really need to do that, because because we need to focus more on getting people to start a business. And to get into business, and a lot of people, like I say, they want to start, but they don't know the process of how to start, and so you really need to do that. You really need to do that.
And you know what I'm thinking about to doing? I want to set up a real live LLC on the broadcast, and certainly we'll blur certain things out where you can't see all the information, because y'all sure ain't getting my credit card. You ain't getting Mario's credit card information.
Right.
So, but anywho, I'm gonna definitely do that. And thank you, Miss Powell. Thank you to all the people supporting me. Thank you to all Mario's people. Mario, I gotta keep saying Mario because I messed up in the beginning. Mario's people, thank you to his family. Thank you all for letting him come with me tonight. I appreciate all the people that he has following him on Facebook and all that other stuff. And to all of you all, especially to a lot of my followers, thank you so much. This is a young lady. Her and her son are my clients. They're doing phenomenal. Miss Powell, registered for real nurse, and her husband, they have been really supportive of me and her family. So thank you so much. Thank you, Eric. You know, we're gonna get together, me, you, and Eric, because that right there is gonna be a bombshell. We're gonna have this young man is the bomb. He's a paperwork man. He believes in that paperwork, getting it done. You know, buying those houses and getting people approved and stuff. And he sent me clients and stuff.
Right.
So thank you so much, Eric. Thank you. Let me see who else want to say this right here. Oh, all right. Simmons, Mr. Junior. Okay. I think that's Colin. I hope I didn't mess it up. I'm going to say Simmons. But thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Mr. Robert, thank you. You know, you always have my back. You've been having it for years. Thank you so much. So if you all want to see more shows like this and more guests coming in, you know, this is what I been doing for many, many years. So I'm definitely grateful tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I've learned from Mark as well. I mean, Mario, there I go with that doggone Mark again. I must be hungry. All right. So thank you all. I got some exciting news in the month of July. Thank you, Trevor. Have a good night. So it's just been phenomenal. They love you, Mario. I told you that. So this was a good show. Good show. And so join us again on next Tuesday night at 9 p.m. East Coast time, 9 p.m. If you're in Texas and all of that stuff, it's 8 p.m. But if you're on the East Coast, it's at 9 p.m. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Mario, have a good night. Thank you, my friend. We're going to talk soon, okay?
Okay.
You all be blessed, and I'm getting ready to be out. See you next time.